Welcome to Faith Focus Network. I'm your host, Daniela Bezant, and today's podcast is dedicated to those who yearn for a deeper connection with God, but find themselves struggling to even believe He exists. This episode is for the seekers and the doubters, and for those who wish they could pray but aren't even sure if anyone's listening. Today we're going to explore the Catholic perspective on this, and on faith and prayer and our journey to finding God. So let's embark on this journey together with hope, inspiration, and a heart open to the divine. So have you ever felt a yearning deep within your soul? A desire to believe in something greater but find yourself caught in the web of doubt? Maybe you've wanted to pray, to reach out to God, but wonder if your words are merely echoes in an empty void. You're not alone. Many have walked this path, and many have found the light they were seeking. I'm one of those people. In this podcast, we're going to explore the profound and transformative power of faith, the beauty of prayer, and the Catholic journey to discovering God's presence in our lives. Let's talk about that yearning for God that some of us feel and just can't explain. St. Augustine once said, "Our hearts are restless until they rest in you, O Lord." This restlessness is yearning for something beyond ourselves, and it's a fundamental aspect of the human experience. It's a sign that we are created for a relationship with God, but how do we bridge the gap between this yearning and a confident faith? A modern-day thinker, Russell Brand, he says that human beings are designed to believe. And if you choose not to believe in God, then you will replace that with something else. It could be career, it could be drugs, pornography, and he believes that much of the addictions and negative obsessions we have is actually trying to fill the void that was created when we let go of God in our lives. Now, the Bible assures us, "Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you." That's Matthew 7:7. These words of Jesus invite us to embark on a journey of discovery. Seeking God is not about having all the answers or being completely free of doubt. I've got bad news for you. That probably will never happen, right? What happens is those doubts just change, and then it's like layers of like peeling back an onion. That's what it's like when you start to unpack your faith. It's about having an open heart, a willingness to search, to question, and to trust that God is already reaching out to us. In a previous episode of Predestination, we talk about that, whether we think we're choosing God or is God really calling out to us and we're responding. Doubt is often seen as the enemy of faith, but it can also be a catalyst for deeper belief. I had a spiritual director once that told me that questioning your faith is how you affirm it. Because it's one thing to believe in something because you were told to, right? So then you just keep regurgitating the same thing you've heard your whole life. But when you really question your faith and then still maintain it, you've had to really come to an understanding of something. And it's that understanding that then solidifies that faith for real as an adult. So questioning your faith is part of the journey. It's part of the process. Blessed John Henry Newman said, 10,000 difficulties do not make one doubt. Doubts and questions can lead us to seek deeper understanding and ultimately strengthen our faith. In the Catholic tradition, faith is not a blind leap, but a reasoned trust based on the evidence of God's presence in our lives and the world. Prayer is the language of the soul. It is our direct line to God, a conversation that transcends words. You may wonder if anyone's listening, but prayer is more than just speaking. It's also listening, opening our hearts to the still small voice of God. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches us that prayer is in the raising of one's mind and heart to God. You'll find that in verse 2559. Let's talk about that first prayer you make while you're still really in a lot of doubt, okay? It doesn't have to be scripted or worded perfectly. Your prayer just needs to be sincere. Imagine saying something like, "I don't know what to say. I don't even know if I believe in you. I want to though, so please God, I want a relationship with you. Please show me that you're with me." It's about the level of sincerity and vulnerability in your question. It's not about the sophistication of your words. And sometimes you may not have the words, but believe me, God knows what you need and what's in your heart more than you do. So all you need to do is get on your knees and just open yourself to Him. And some people, will get very emotional. And if that happens to you, it is often said that tears are prayers without words. So just let yourself cry, and God knows what you're crying about. God isn't looking to be impressed by your eloquence. He just wants to love you and be loved by you. And because of free will, He needs to be invited. There's a profound difference between sincerely supplicating to God for intimacy and demanding that He prove Himself. So when you approach God with a genuine desire for a relationship, you open your heart to His love and presence. This kind of prayer comes from a place of humility and yearning. So when you're saying to God, please show me that you're with me. Please show me that you love me in a way that I can understand and I know is you. It's a little bit different than you coming off as, well, if you want me to believe in you, prove yourself to me. It's a very different energy, right? It's a different energetic. So when you're asking God to prove Himself like a circus clown, that's rooted in skepticism, insolence, and a desire for control. It reduces the divine to a mere performer, stripping away the sacredness of the relationship we seek. Think about it this way. You don't really need to go anywhere, even energetically, to find God, because God's written in your DNA. If you want to be creeped out, here's a Google search for you. Google how the word Yahweh is imprinted in your DNA. And then Google how the word Yahweh is automatically said every time you breathe. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Google both of those things and you will freak out. So God's already written in your very genetic code. So all you need to do is, close your eyes and go within, and you're there because He's already in you. You are made of Him. So there is no separation beyond the intellectual one you've created, okay? So physically and spiritually, there is no separation. God is in you. You are of God, okay? So all you need to do is tap into that knowledge, that feeling, and the rest will unfold, believe me, and it'll unfold in a crazy way. And it's weird how when you don't ask God to prove Himself like a circus clown, but you do ask God to show Himself to you, that you will actually have things happen to you that appear like a magic trick, so you'll get what you want anyway, you know what I mean? So it's just in how the sincerity of your ask. True prayer is an invitation to intimacy, where we lay bare our doubts, our fears, and our hopes. Tell Him you're angry. Tell Him you're confused. Tell Him you don't understand. It's an act of trust to do that. It's a step towards letting God into our life without condition or demands. It's about saying, I'm here and I really want to know you. I'm scared, I'm angry, I'm confused, but I really do want to know you. And trust that He will respond in His own time and way, and it will freak you out, I promise you. It will freak you out. This kind of sincere supplication transforms our hearts and opens us to the profound and personal experience of God's love and presence. So let's turn to some of the stories who've walked this journey before we have. So let's look at Saint Therese of Calcutta, known to the world as Mother Teresa. Despite her profound impact on the world, she experienced deep spiritual dryness and even doubt. Yet she continued to pray, to serve, and to seek God. And her life teaches us that faith is not always about feelings, but it is about a commitment to seek God even in your dark moments. In the Catholic Church, the sacraments are powerful encounters with God's grace. Baptism, confirmation, the Eucharist, reconciliation, anointing of the sick, holy orders, matrimony, how God reaches out to us and is able to touch us in tangible ways. These sacraments aren't just rituals, they're encounters with a living God who desires to be in communion with us. The beauty of the world around us is a testament to the Creator. St. Francis of Assisi saw God's hand in all of creation. He praised God for Brother Sun and Sister Moon, for the stars, and for all creatures. When we take the time to notice the beauty around us, we open our hearts to the Creator who made it all. The Catholic Church teaches that faith and reason are not opposed but are complementary. St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the greatest theologians of the Church, used reason to explore the mysteries of faith. He showed that our intellect can lead us to a deeper understanding of God. Faith is not a rejection of reason, but a fulfillment of it. One of the greatest gifts of the Catholic Church is the community of believers. We're not meant to walk this journey alone. The Church provides us with a community that supports us, prays with us, and helps us grow in faith. The communion of saints, those holy men and women who have gone before us, also intercede for us and provide us with examples of living faith. So, if you're yearning for God, take a step today. Open your heart in prayer, even if it feels uncertain, even if it feels silly. Reach out to your local Catholic parish and connect with the community. Explore the richness of the Catholic faith through the sacraments, the scriptures, and the teachings of the Church. Remember, the journey of faith is not about having all the answers, but about seeking, trusting, and being open to the presence of God. In closing, I invite you to embrace this journey. Allow that yearning to lead you to seek God with all your heart. Remember the promise of Jesus, seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be open to you. May your heart find rest in God, and may you discover the profound peace and joy that comes from a life of faith. So thank you for joining me on Faith Focus Podcast. Again, my name is Daniela Bizant. May God bless you on your journey, and may you always feel His presence guiding you. Today, my prayer is, if you are an unbeliever, but you really wished you could believe, my prayer for you today is that you get that sign, that thing that makes you realize the universe is far more complicated than we maybe allowed ourselves to consider. And I hope that you get the affirmation you need to know that God is with you and loves you. Until next time, keep seeking, keep praying. And for those of you that are already there, keep believing. Keep that faith alive for us and for everyone.